In this video, we're going to be designing a ship cannon from Star Citizen. We're going to be using reference to, kind of loosely follow the idea. And then we're going to be injecting our own concept and design cues on the go, just to, play on the image that we're seeing. And it's going to be a longer tutorial. So if you don't have patience, just, fuck off and do some gardening or whatever. So let's get started. So let's orient ourselves here to the back. And we're going to draw a circle. I mean, not a circle, sorry, my bad. Let's just draw a cylinder. Something like this. And, the size doesn't really matter. I mean, it kind of matters, but, you know what I mean? So, something like this. And I think I might actually turn it around a little bit on this z-axis. So when we're gonna look from the right hand side here, we're gonna see the profile of this gun. It's gonna be easier to design that. Let's now maybe grab this face here, and we're going to extrude it in here and press B for new body and do that. It's peachy. So we got these two basic elements sorted, and then we need to kind of start building the frame. But before we do that, let's actually do these cuts, okay? So now, what I'm seeing here is actually an interesting cut. So we could use another cylinder to do that. So we could run a cut like that, right? And press B and just grab this face here and move it all the way down here. And we're gonna bevel this, okay? So 2 for bevel and click on the side to create this kind of effect. And we're going to push this face out. That's peachy. And now let's see how this is gonna look, yeah? So it might be a bit too deep, so maybe GX and move it slightly here. So select this one with 4, then Q this one and right click, and I think that's actually really cool. Now here Alt, let's just, what the fuck is happened to my gizmo? Let's just move this to the center, okay? So GG, hold control and just snap it here to the middle. There we go, that's better. So, it's gonna be easier to work with mirrors and shit. Now we're gonna combine these two together, so QQ and combine them, and Alt X and mirror, press Q and boom. And let me see, and I think that's cool. Now we may actually also slice this this element here. So we might want to do is, in fact, what we could do? We could run a chamfer on this one later on. I think that might be actually a good idea. Something like this. I like that. That's kind of cool. Let me just Control E to hide the edges. Yeah, this is pretty neat. I like that. Alright, so let's keep this. You want to be careful with adding chamfers and bevels when you're in a blockout stage, but this is actually quite fine. So we can mirror to the other side and, in PGQ and boom, right? Okay, cool. So now we have the back here, and I think this back could be a little bit larger, So let's just make this a bit larger. So press 3 to increase the size of this face and pull it out a bit like this. Because we want to make a, neat transition here. So let's just slide this a bit like this. Maybe that's too much. Let me see that. I think that's kind of cool. I like that. Cool. Nice. Okay. That is peachy, right? That is peachy. Okay. Sweet. And then we're gonna try to design this back end here. So maybe let's extend this a little bit here. And now we need something interesting. So we need some kind of a, like a frame that's gonna hold this gun right now. I don't want to repeat what's here, but I really like this kind of a bit, this kind of a design here that really looks very sci-fi. I'm not crazy about the top, but this looks really cool. So we might repeat that. So what we might want to do, we could actually do this with a cube, So we could run a cube here like that, okay? And just expand it this way and press B. And now we're gonna be, slicing this. So first, let's actually slice it like that. And go in here. And then down here. And out, okay? And then C and click and just nuke this rubbish, right? And now we're gonna have to adjust it from this side, because this is actually, if you see that here, it's actually slanted. So we're gonna go here like that, and then kind of like this, right? So C and slice it, peachy. And then we can actually, run a bevel on this one. In fact, before we do that, let's run a bevel here, okay? And then we can run a bevel on this one. And this will not work, you see. So let's try to run this the other way around. So bevel here first, and then a bevel here. Yeah, that's better, okay. How are we looking? We're looking pretty peachy. Then we can also run a bevel here as well. That's cool. And obviously we're going to cut it here from this side. So I want to make this a little bit maybe more kind of, robust at the back. We could run an edge here, tap shift here to borrow this angle, and maybe go down like this. I think that's fine. And then we're gonna cut this off, right? Something like that. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. So with this basic block out here, let's move this to the left. So GX and move it in here. And then we're going to mirror this. So mirror Q, and we're done, okay? Now, I probably want to make this a little bit more flat if I can. Yes, I can. Cool, that's better. Yeah, see that the shape here is a little bit better, so I kind of like that. Cool, cool, cool. Now the bottom here is a bit too chunky, but what we could do, we could in fact make it less chunky, like this, okay? So see and cut this and nuke that, and I think it's gonna be a little bit better. Cool. So now we can extend the back here, so grab this and extend it here. Now here, this one could be a little bit higher, so we could move this up a bit like this. Maybe that's kind of cool. I don't want to make it too thin, but this actually could be a little bit lower, so a little bit lower. I really like that you can move the, the bevels with the mesh. It's insane. Here, let's just move this a little bit deeper here. In fact, we could just make it go through. It might be interesting. And then chamfer this here. This could be cool. I like that. I like that. So we're already riffing off of the idea now. I do like this element here. So we could kind of add it in here like this, So do that and B. And then select that and move it across. Now we're in the blockout stage. When you're in the blockout stage, you don't want to fuck with any details, right? You just want to, you just want to riff off of the shapes, yeah? So that's good. Let's mirror this to the other side. Q to merge it. And I'm going to run actually a bevel here, right? Not the chamfer by a bevel. We're looking pretty cool. We could add a bevel here to, kind of maintain the consistency here. And we also could fix this problem here. This is a little bit too wide. So maybe we could, move these faces a bit in like that. And I think that's going to be peachy. So let's mirror. And we're good to go. Okay, cool. Alright, so we got this. I think this one could be a little bit larger. But not too large. Maybe a little bit bigger. Yeah, I think that's better. And this one still is a little bit too thick. So what we could do is actually kind of ease it off like this, I think this might work. So see and cut it and nuke that, and I think it's going to be better. Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I like that. And then we can play off of this shape here, I don't know, bevel it or something, we can worry about it later. So what I want to do now is I want to shift D these two, okay? Shift D them, and then Control Z, and shift select that, press, period numpad on the keyboard so we can go to local. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these larger, so select them both, right? Come on. Scale them up. And we're going to boolean this, okay? So select that, press Q, and, use this as booleans, and apply. And then let's go back, and now you can see that it's sort of, cut out, right? Which is exactly what I want, because I want to run some bevels here. And I want to also run a bevel here, okay? A chamfer. Actually, chamfer could be interesting. Maybe not as big. Something like that. Boom, right? And then let's mirror to the other side. So, okay, that's good. Now here we can have some design. and the rest is peachy. Okay, and here too, let's just, you know, run the bevel here. So let me just grab this and go to local view. So now I'm going to chamfer this one. And maybe I can just leave it alone. So I wanted to, you know, also chamfer this one, but do I really need to do this? I'm gonna leave it alone. So that looks pretty good. I like that. And then I want to change a little bit this design on the top because I'm not crazy about it. So what I might do here, I might actually slice this one first. So let me just slice that here. So see and slice it. Okay, good. And then I might grab this one and scale it down a little bit like that. And grab this and chamfer it a little bit here. So maybe I could just use a curve to draw it. So tap and maybe create something like this here. I could borrow this curve actually, you know, or maybe we do this. So Shift D, then I'm gonna press O for offset and offset it outside like this here. And I'm gonna grab a curve and, you know, draw that here. Go up based on this curve here, and then like this, and then down here, and create that. And I don't need this one, and I don't need this one. So T for trim, and trim that, and trim this one. Then select all these here, okay, and J them. And then we're going to B that. So B and bevel. You want to bevel these separately more or less because you see like they have a different angle. So let's bevel that first. Then we're going to bevel these two because they're kind of similar. And these two are completely different. So this one is open at angle and this one is kind of a closed angle, you know, more sharp. And then we can actually, you know, use this to imprint it, or yeah, imprinting is fine. So Shift I again imprint. If you don't have the radial menu installed, go to Plasticity radial menu and get it installed. It's a fantastic menu. I have a Shift Q shortcut assigned to it. The website will teach you how to do it. Also, some of my beginner videos on YouTube for Plasticity actually show you how to do it, I think. But it's really easy. And if you don't have this one at the moment, you can press F and look for imprint curve body, this one, okay? You want to assign shortcut to it. So, you know, we're going to imprint the curve here, so we can delete that. And let's just, all right, so let's grab this one and, well, I was thinking about doing this, but honestly, I'm going to push it backwards and create, you know, this kind of a situation here. I think it's going to be much more interesting. And I'm going to think of some kind of a different way of combining this, maybe from the top, you know. So what we could do is create a connection here. So we could actually even use curves for this one. So, you know, use a curve like that, right? And one more time, Shift A and run a curve here, like this. We can bevel this one here on the top. All right. What we can do is move this curve here, press E to extrude it and move it out here, right? Then we can click on this menu here, which is solidification, and do that. And let's grab this face here and move it down so it connects, right? Nuke this curve because we don't need it. Let's actually make it wider. So make it wider here and sink it down. There we go. Now before we combine these two, let's just grab these two faces and move them back. Oh, that didn't work very well. So let's just redo this chamfer because I want to have more space in here, okay? So now what we can do is we can bevel these two edges, right? And now we can sort of a boolean this together. So QQ and boolean, and then alt click here all around and bevel this. There we go. Now this could have some clips on the side as well. Also here we could run another loop like that. And, you know, insert this one a little bit deeper and maybe do something like this. And we could create some kind of a coil in here. So grabbing one of these edges and, you know, shift D that, move it somewhere here and create a pipe out of this, maybe a little bit larger, so P for pipe, right? And then we're gonna array this here, like that, and, you know, increase the number of these pipes here, like that. That's pretty cool. It's like a coil gun or whatever. And I think we're good. We could combine this together if you wanted to, or you can just leave them alone, you know, like just grab all these pipes and select this one and just QQ and, you know, merge them together so you don't have a headache. I think that looks pretty good. Now we could create a casing on top of this as well, you know. Some sort of, let's just see if we can do that. Let's just grab, maybe let's make this one thicker here, like that. And we can chamfer it, right? And then grab this edge, Shift D. And what we're gonna do is select this, this curve here, right? And we're gonna extrude it along here, like that. And we can actually make it into a glass later on, you know what I mean? So this could be interesting. And also, let's go to this view and make it a little bit thicker, yeah, so it's not a freaking plane, it's actually solid, you see what I mean? But a very thin one, right? So there you go. Cool. We could also create some cuts in it just for fun, maybe from this side, maybe a bit smaller, you know. Bevel this. Let's just press Alt Z so I can see what I'm doing, and then C and cut this one and nuke that. And you got something like this, right? Run a bevel here as well, and then chamfer on the back here. Cool. We don't need this, we can nuke this. Now this one could be poking through, so we could just move this entire face back and then chamfer this, or even bevel this, you know. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. In fact, what we could do, we could angle this, you know. We could angle this to the same angle as this edge. So what we could do is grab this face, Shift D, and move it in here, and then, you know, grab that face, move it, and sort of align it like this with match face, right? And then we can nuke that one, and then we can align this one accordingly. So, you know, somewhere here, and we could even slice this top here, you know. So slice the top like this. Here, so see and slice it, right? And align these two, so, you know, here, boom, like that, right? And it's gonna be pretty cool. And we could actually, there is a, hang on, let me see this. Yeah, we could actually move this to the end, so grab these two and literally push them outside like this, right? So we're gonna get this opening here, and we can chamfer that like this, right? So let me see. Yeah, let's just chamfer this. Here it's fine. We could bevel this one, right? And then, you know, bevel this one, okay? Like this. And that's quite interesting, actually. I like that. Here we're gonna add some flavor to this one. So O to, you know, insert it and do something like that. And, you know, that's gonna be kind of cool. So we have some element over there. Here too we have some cuts just for, you know, design's sake. So tap here and maybe run something like this. Maybe we could actually go straight here like that and borrow this angle. One more time, there we go. And grab this one and do something like this. And then bevel these, same angles, just grab all of them, and this one is separate, right? Now we're gonna imprint this, and let's just move it in. So does it work? What the hell? It's not closed loop. Let's go back. Something is not closed in here. Alright, let me just Shift D that, and SX0. I think something isn't closed in here. We're going to extrude it, right? And then I'm gonna select that and I'm going to patch it. And this fucking doesn't work. There's a gap in here. That's the problem. I see. Okay, so there's a gap somewhere here. Ah, see, that's a problem. Now, I really wish there was a way of, finding these issues. There is a way of finding non-manifold geometry on a sheet, but that's a curve, not a sheet, so it's a problem. So again, Shift Q, imprint, and now it should work, okay? So 3, there we go. And now what I want to do is I want to, extrude it. So now before we extrude this, I want to, draw another one here. So let's just click here and add maybe another one here like this, and tap here, and something like this, right? And then press T for trimming, nuke that, and we're gonna connect these two, okay? So now it should be fine. So J, then we're going to bevel these, and bevel this one, and bevel this one, okay? Shift Q, imprint, and boom, right? Then we're gonna grab these two and simply insert them a little bit, and bevel them, and that's too aggressive. I just want a smaller bevel. You can hold Shift to slow it down. And here I'm not chamfer, yeah, so right. And this looks pretty cool. It's just gonna look a bit more machined, alright, so Alt X and copy, right? Peachy. So let me just grab a circle. I'm gonna grab this tangent circle and draw it behind these, between these two, and move it somewhere here. In fact, yeah, here is fine. And make it a little bit larger and move it to the back to encompass this entire area. But I don't think it should be so backward. It should be somewhere here, probably. There we go. Maybe make it a bit bigger. So let me see that. Could be actually really large. I think I don't mind that. So let's just E and extrude it, and we're going to patch it, and then we're going to sink it down. Maybe make it a bit bigger. There you go. I don't mind it encroaching on this bevel. It's fine. And we're going to boolean this together, right? So 4 and QQ, right? And what you want to do is you want to run a bevel on these, okay? So run a bevel here, like that. And then you want to combine these with this one, okay? So QQ, okay? Peachy. And then you can run a bevel here, right? That's gonna make sense, in terms of connection, right? And then we're going to chop this here, right, at the bottom. C and slice it. Because what we want to do is we want to create this kind of a rotary mechanism, right? And in fact, let's just make this a little bit smaller and drop it in. And then grab that one and, chamfer it. Come on, chamfer this. There we go. And let's just move this one up a bit. And, chamfer this one, right? And what we can do, we can create some kind of a, mechanism here around. So let's just grab a cube and do something like this and draw it down. And press B. And we're going to scale it like that, okay? And radial array this. And we want more of these. There we go. And then we're going to boolean this, right? So Q, the other way around. Select that Q and select all these with Shift and boom, right? And there you go. So you're gonna have something like this, and we can just sink that in. And Bob Janko. So it's gonna be kind of like, kind of like an attachment here or something. And, that's good enough. I'm not gonna be modeling anything else in here. Should do. Alright, cool. So now here we could have some kind of a cut as well. We could actually do it with a cube, to be honest. And bevel this and chamfer this. And simply mirror to the other side. Cool. And this could be some kind of a mechanism here or whatnot, you know. So let me just move this backwards and then move this down. Come on. Move this backwards here and move this down. So it sinks in. And a little bit more down. There you go. Bevel that. Bevel this one. And we could bevel that as well. And we could combine these together and then have some kind of a, you know, another cut in here like this. And grab this face and rotate it. One more time. There we go. Grab these two, bevel, and chamfer that. And there you go. We could just work on the front now. So here what we could do is, you know, work with this, all of that, and press B, and in fact, we could move this a little bit to the front, and we could do this and combine them together. So QQ and chamfer that, and then scale this one here and create an opening. There you go. That's a proper fucking cannon now. There we go. Here on the side we could have some, you know, cables or whatnot. I don't think I'm gonna be actually creating these because it's gonna be too much work, but you know, you could. We could also run these kind of clamps or whatnot, right? In fact, you know what we could do? Oh, that could be interesting. Hang on, let me shift D this and let me just nuke these because we can actually duplicate it. So let me just grab these and go to local, expand them a little bit. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually loft them, but I'm gonna loft them with G0, right? So, and then I'm gonna combine all these together with J and run a thickening tool on that. Select these two and these two and just bevel them. There we go. Then mirror to the other side. Then let's go back and see how this looks. That's actually pretty cool, I think. What we could also do is actually cut it here in half. So slice it like this. Okay. And nuke that one. Run a loop. Or in fact, grab these faces and move them in like this. And then bevel these. This could be interesting, right? So do that. And we could just mirror this to the other side. And, you know, shift D that basically somewhere here. Right? So that is pretty cool. I like that. Here in the back, we could have something as well. So we could have, you know, two cuts in here. Insert this a bit and move it outside. Kind of like capacitors or some shit. I don't know. And bevel this. Alright, and then run a loop here and another one. Grab this face and insert it a bit, and then grab two of these and bevel. And we could just mirror this to the other side. There could be some cable connectors or whatnot. We could even hollow them out, you know, like this. Right. So we could just run some, you know, some cable connections here. They're gonna be connecting to, I don't know, the ship's power, whatever the fuck. I'm not sure about this cutting. Also, you know, I'm still considering if this is better. So let's grab a piece, let's grab this one, Shift D, and go to local. What we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a piece of this like that, right? And it's on the same line? No. So Y0. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim it. So I'm going to trim all this rubbish here. And I'm gonna select this one and I'm going to offset it. And I'm gonna connect it here and Shift A and this one. We're gonna select everything and join it together. Press 3, click here and extrude it. I need to do that. And then we're gonna go back here. Yeah, I think this is gonna be more interesting. So move this in here like this, and then we can actually cut this, you see. So let me just cut this like that. Okay, and let me bevel this. There you go, and then let me just cut that. Cool. Oh, that's actually interesting. I like that. And we're going to mirror this to the other side. That's nice. That's actually pretty cool. And we're going to bevel this one here, and then we can chamfer this whole thing. You can hold Shift to slow it down, and same here. Now here we could make it a bit more interesting. We could create a spiral like this, and let's make this a bit smaller, so maybe this size, and then we're gonna increase the number of maybe 7, something like that. Move it inside, right? And then press P for pipe, and then we're gonna make this pipe a little bit smaller, and we're going to also make it a little bit less crazy. Okay, so let's press 4 and Q and cut it. There we go, and here we need to fix this a little bit. So what you can do is grab this face and rotate it on a z-axis like this, and just fix the bevel here like that. And we're gonna bevel this one a little bit. Not chamfer bevel. There we go. And it should be peachy. We could have like a long pipe here connecting these two, to be honest. So we could just run a connection here like that. And P for a pipe and make it larger. And just, drop it in here like that, and simply connect them both. So 4 and QQ. There you go. And simply mirror to the other side. So there you go. That's cool. Here too we could have some notches or whatnot. So we could just run, you could just run like a clamp in here, to be honest. Like kind of like a, something that connects these two. What we could do is we could actually cut a piece of this here, with Shift D. So Shift D that and move this on top here like that, make it smaller, and then grab this face and thicken it, and then simply run bevels on this, right, like this, and just make it smaller and sort of sink it in here, and grab this face here on the bottom and drive it in, and then create a chamfer here. And we could actually bevel these two as well, chamfer them or whatnot. Chamfering actually might be better. And maybe bevel these, and then chamfer the whole thing here. There you go. Then you could have some kind of a decals on that or whatnot. We could actually make 2 cuts in here to make it a little bit more like a docking, whatever. Some kind of a connection. between the the ship and whatnot. So create a few more booleans here to make it look a little bit more interesting, right? Something like this, and then another cut in here, right? And then maybe another cut like that. And something in here, right? And then simply mirror to the other side. So it kind of sells an illusion of this being some sort of a connector to the ship, right? Here too, we could have some bolts or whatnot, just for fun. So scale this. It's all about selling the illusion of something, right? Do you know what I mean? There you go, right? And this one could be chamfered. And then this one could be mirrored to the other side. Boom, right? Awesome. We could actually squash this a bit because it's kind of coming outside. Now, you know what I was thinking? We could duplicate this, right? Make it larger and then cut this one with this. And then, create a chamfer here or even bevel like that. And then what we could do, we could combine these two and then run a massive bevel here. I think it's gonna look pretty cool, but let's not overdo this so these bevels don't overshoot, right? But this is gonna be really cool, I think. Yeah, there you go. See what I mean? That's actually pretty cool. And the back here, this could be cut, yes. So we could run a cut here on the back, starting somewhere here, following this line, Alt Z to see that. And actually, what we can do, we can borrow this edge here, this one. Okay, so Shift D that, and move it somewhere here, right? And we could extend it. So press 1. Let me just see that. Let me rebuild this curve. There we go. Grab this one, and this one is actually extending down. Oh shit! This goes around. Okay, let me fix this because this will not work. So let's grab that to local. Yeah, we're going to slice this like this. Okay. So select this curve, Control C. This is a custom shortcut, so if you don't have it, just simply go to F menu and look for cut curve, right? Then we're gonna grab this one and straighten up like that, okay? So we're gonna have this situation. Go here, grab this point in the bottom and go to extend curve, okay? And extend it down here. You need to have a curve extended in order to cut whatever you wanna cut. And let me just press Alt Z. Can't see shit here. And then again, extend curve. I have it here on my radial menu. There we go. And now we can cut it. So C and cut this bit here in the back. Boom, right? And this is gonna create a little bit more of an interest here. So create like a back plate, you know what I mean? So grab this this edge here and just simply do that. And let me see that. Yeah, see, so we can actually create some sort of different mud over there. And here in the back, I could also run kind of like a clamp or whatnot. So B and do that, and then we could imprint it here and actually sink it in a little bit. So we would need to nuke the bevel first. So alt click this one, press X, select that, sink it in, then run a chamfer on this one, right? And then you need to run a bevel here separately on these two, right? And here we could just run, kind of whatever, kind of bolt or some such. Okay, and then we need to mirror this to the other side because reasons. So Alt X Q and you're done. Alright, and how we're looking? Yeah, I think we're looking pretty good. Let's see this on this preview. Yeah, this is fantastic. I like it. So now we can bring it to, to Blender, and we can actually texture this. and render this because, reasons, right? So let's do just that. Now I'm gonna be using Blender Bridge. If you don't know how to use it, watch my video on that. I have a full tutorial that shows how to do it. So let's refresh it, and I'm gonna be retopologizing it because there's no need. I'm going to drop a plane here, grab our add-on Material Works to texture it, and also to add the HDRI because it's easier. There we go. Make this one larger, and plastic and shiny plastic. We're going to, in fact, I'm going to hide it for a second, and I'm going to add metal to this one. So I coated titanium. There we go. Now I'm going to select this one, then Control I, and then Shift select this again to copy that over. There we go. Then Alt H to recover the plane. And on top of this, we're going to be simply adding some additional mats in here, right? So like these could be additional mat, right? Different color. Usually it's easier to add mat, like a blank material to everything, and then, work your way backwards. So this could be half matte steel. It's a little bit bright. How about midnight steel, but not as dark? So let's just go to color and, adjust it a little bit. So it's darker, but not super dark, something like this. So we could select all these and, copy that. And then this one could be also darker. Here in the back, there you go. This one could be darker. And then we have, yeah, these two could be darker as well. I kind of like that. Cool. So that looks pretty good. And obviously we can, mirror these to the other side because these are the same. So just nuke that. Select these two and mirror, right? I'm gonna lower it down a little bit. Now what we could do is play a little bit with the background, but since this gun is so dark, it's gonna be rather difficult. So even if I added something like maybe rubber, maybe this one, and you see like it's really dark, so it would be rather difficult to, we could just make it a bit brighter like this, right? This is kind of cool, not gonna lie, but we might need more light or different lighting, Let's just try this let's try to pump it up to 1.2 and see what happens, or maybe 1.4. Maybe that will work, So let's just grab a camera here. 21 by 9. So it's going to be 3440 by 1440. And the frame is going to be a bit better. Let's just lock to view and adjust the view here to maybe something like this. Move it higher in a frame. And we're going to be adding decals as well because, we need some decals, right? I think this is gonna do. So let's unlock that, make this bigger, G, Shift Z, move it somewhere here. Let me see that. You see, like if I remove this, I'm getting more lighting. So what I might do, I might actually render two of them at the same time. Or maybe do an old trick of brightening the background. So I'm gonna do this and render, one, and render the gun, and then I'm gonna make it darker and render the background. So, this could work. So, let's slap some decals because reasons. So here we could have a, name of this gun. So it could be something like, what is COP? COP Industries. I like that. So we could drop this in here or even in the back here. Maybe here gonna look better. So project. Now here we could have some decals, along the way. So we could have a long ones, or maybe this one. So let's make it larger and then SXX or YY was it? There we go. Make it narrower here. Or maybe we could drop it somewhere on this one. This could be interesting. So D and project it, and then select it in the edit mode, Shift D and Y, and move it in here. So you got two of them. Let me see that. That's actually pretty cool like that. Now we need to, run a mat on it. So let's add the cube. Now, by the way, watching this, there's a good chance that Materialworks supports decals and trim sheets. We're currently working on that, so at the moment still not available. So I'm gonna have to do it manually, unfortunately. So D and match D, and let's just run a mat here, which is gonna material. There we go, and here the same D mat, and there we go. Also want to nuke this emission, so D, adjust E, and just nuke the emission. There we go. Now, we could use trim sheets, but honestly, I'm not going to be doing that. It's just, I can't be bothered. But you could if you wanted to. We would need to basically, retopologize it in order to run through. I mean, we could do that. Let me see if it actually can. So let's go to here, advanced Ngon 01, and then max width 001. Actually, it should be 001 here, and then 01 here, and then 0.1 and 0.1. So if I'm gonna refacet that, let me see what happens. Not too terrible. So now we can actually run a trim sheet on that. So select that here, and maybe this one, or maybe these two. There we go. And then D, and let's run trim sheets. Remember to hold Alt when you do that, because it's the first trim sheet. So let's go here and Alt click, and let's see what happens. There we go. Now they work because they have mud on them, right? But normally they wouldn't work. So let's go with something mechanical, and preferably without this yellow thing. Maybe something like that, that will work. Boom, right? Alright, so here we can have, some maybe radial array of some elements. So put it somewhere here, and let's move a cursor here to this one. So Shift S and two face, right? And then we can radial array this. So double click that, make it smaller, and then D, actually no, Q, and with hard ups, right? So mesh tools and control click on radial, maybe fewer of them here like that, D and project it, and then we're gonna match them. So D and hold Shift, material, there we go. That's kind of cool. We can nuke this cube, don't need it. Here too we could have something, maybe some kind of a clip, I don't know, something like that. Something like that, and D and project it, and then let's match this to matte, and then match this one. There we go. I'm gonna have some text here as well, or maybe something here on the side, like, I don't know. Project. There we go. Here in the front we could have some lights, because why not? So we could grab that. Right, and make sure that this, it's just not too large. So maybe somewhere here, maybe somewhere, on the top here somewhere, right? Make this light smaller. When you're placing lights, you want to make them tiny. If you make these lights too big, they're gonna be way too overpowering, okay? So, don't do that. Here too, we could have some light here as well, maybe the same one. So, grab this light here, and what we could do is place it somewhere here, right, and adjust it, and honestly make it small, okay, something like that. Just drop it somewhere here, D and project, boom, right? So you see, like, you're gonna be pulled from here all the way here, and it's kind of cool. In the back here, you could have something as well, so D and I don't know, whatever, right? G as valve or something, project, boom, and we can drop the alpha to 0.9. Is this at 0.8 or what is it? This could be actually 1, because it's you know, the reflection is kind of strong here. So these clips here could have some decals as well. So, you know, we could have, maybe this one will work too, you know. Just run one here and then shift DY and another one here. We could even rotate it so they're facing, you know, the other way. Project it and then D match and match it to material. And then we're gonna do the same thing here. And we could have some other elements here on the top. So maybe some vent or whatnot. So let me just go here and select the vent. Yeah, this would do. So we could have one vent here on the top and the other one on the other side. So again, match it. So material, there we go. And another thing we're gonna have here on the back, you know, another clip. It could be the same one or something like this. Let's say adjust it like that and, you know, create some element of interest here in the back. It doesn't really matter what it is as long as it pulls attention just a little bit, you know what I mean? So material here, and let's match this one so it's not so reflective. There we go. So you know, pull to the back, you see, really nicely. And we could also have something here in the front as well. So honestly, we could have, I don't know, this maybe. All right. It doesn't really matter what it is, okay? You just need some cool stuff here and there. And let's project it and match. Just material here, this one. And then there we go, right? And you're good to go. Here too, we could have some kind of vent. So we could do, you know, something like, I don't know. This could work actually, not gonna lie. This could work, yep. And project. And then D and match and match it there. Boom, there you go. That actually looks pretty cool. All right, cool. So let's go with the rendering. Also, another thing, I could actually add a serial number here on the top, just for fun. So let me just grab this. There you go. So serial number could be somewhere here. And project. We could have something here on the side as well. So D, and let's just use this one maybe, and shift S to cursor. Scale it just a little bit, D, and project it, and then D, select that, and let's match it. So D and material, and then D here, and matte, and boom. You got some kind of a, you know, some element there that you can see something is happening, right? Here too, we could have some sticker here on the top, honestly. Some sort of, I don't know, high pressure, whatever, hot, something like this here, boom, right? Project, and we can drop this. When you have something really dark, in a dark place, you want to drop it, you know, a little bit more. There's a lot of stickers around, but I think we're gonna be fine. We're adding decals, so, you know, whatever. Let's add the decal here too. Jesus Christ, the fucking geometry. So let's shift S into face, right? So we move the cursor. One more time, shift S and to face, there we go. Let's apply a different decal here in this one, okay? So let me just do that very quickly. Let's shift S to cursor, there we go, make it larger, and, you know, and project it. Okay, and I think it's gonna be better. Okay, cool. So let's match this one. Sometimes, you know, you need to use what's working, you know what I mean? Because it's less headache. And how are we looking? Yeah, we're looking fantastic, so this will do. Cool, so let's render this and see what happens. Yeah, this looks very good. It's a bit dark here, but, you know, patience, right? And I really like these tiny breaks here on the way. It's really, really cool. It looks really good. Okay, so let's save it. So image save as. Now save it as a TIFF, you know, because that's better quality. Okay, so we need that. So it's gonna be Canon 1. So C1, right? Now we're gonna render another one with this one being brighter, okay? Or even gone completely, like this. Right, so render this. And this one can be a cutout, so we can use it as a TIFF just in case, or a PNG. But I think I'm gonna save it as a you know, as a TIFF, just in case we have more options. Okay, so this is gonna be cutout C2, and let's just make this change it into a TIFF peachy, and then we're gonna do one more. So I'm gonna enable the background, but I'm gonna make it brighter. So go here to Material Works, and we're going to lift this. So we're gonna have more bounce light, which means the gun's gonna be much brighter. Do you see what I mean? But it's not gonna be super overcooked, yeah? So this should be better. Why is this fucking window so huge? Another thing you can do is you can brighten up the matte, okay? So if matte is too dark, you can actually brighten it up to make it brighter, and this will, you know, without changing the lighting, you're gonna brighten the whole image. So it's not a trick you can use. And this is gonna be not a cutout, this is gonna be it's gonna be C3, okay? Now let's go here and orphan data. Let's purge all the shit we don't need. Then we're gonna go here to external data pack resources to pack all the maps, and then we can actually save it as a packed file, okay? So packed. And we can also name it final. So SC Canon final packed blend, and save as a desktop. Okay, let's pump all these in here. And now we're gonna be overlaying them, so watch this. We're gonna grab this one, grab this here, hold shift, hover over and drop it. So they're gonna be perfectly aligned. Do the same thing, hover over, hold shift and drop it, right? So you see now we can actually brighten it up a little bit, but all we can do is grab this, control click that, click on this layer, and we can add a mask. So we're gonna have a brighter gun, but darker background, which is pretty fucking cool. Also, this one is really dark, bright here. So what we can do here in order to fix this problem on the left side, we could control click to create a selection and run curves, which is gonna apply a mask to it with a cutout. So when we're gonna adjust this, you're gonna adjust the gun, but when you press Control I, it's gonna invert it. So now what we can do, we can actually, you know, darken down this this background. So now in order to remove this from this side here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use a brush and reduce the opacity, and we're just gonna simply do something like this, okay? And it's gonna more or less neutralize this the background, right? We can also double click here, go to blend diff, and remove it from darker areas on the underlying layer, so something like this, and it's gonna neutralize our background a little bit, yeah. So now Shift, Control, Alt, and E, and now we're going to go to Camera Raw Filter, and I want to brighten this shit up because it's a little bit dark. There's a lot of underexposed areas over there. We can't fix it completely, but you know, it is what it is. We can pull the shadows up. Maybe this exposure is a little bit too high. There we go. And you want to go to Effects and pump the clarity. Let me see that now. That's pretty decent. So now this actually brightened the background as well again. So what we can do is run another mask here, like this. So it's going to be only on the gun. Boom. And it's a little bit bright here on this side, right? So we don't really need that. What we can do is remove it from the brightest tones. So do something like this. So it's less eye poking, okay? There we go. We can also remove it from this side. So D, and you know, just brush it from here, but on the mask, right? So it's gonna remove it from this top here, which is a little bit bright. Another layer, so Shift, Control, Alt, and E, and then go to Nick Collections, paid add-on for Photoshop, but it's really good, so this is why I'm using it. And we're gonna use, you know, Pro Contrast. Oh, that looks fucking juicy. Let's nuke this a little bit from the highlights. It's a little bit hot on the highlights. And definitely we don't want it in the, you know, too deep in the shadows. What we want is we want cross-processing. That's just hot. Oh yeah. That looks actually really cool now, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really, fuck it, let's go with this. Not this one, this one, right? What you could do, you could actually, you know, adjust this a little bit so it's not so strong, but honestly, I think I'm fine with that. Could make the background a little bit darker. But let's apply this, and what we could do, we could actually apply a vignette on this on top of that, and I think it's gonna look pretty good. So let's go here to Nick Collection, and let's go to Color Effects Pro. There's a problem on the bottom here. See that? This bright spot here, that's a bit annoying. And then we're also gonna add let's just nuke these double filters. We're gonna add also some film grain because I think it's gonna look a bit better. So first of all, vignette filter, so let's go with that. That's obviously a little bit too strong, and also we could change it to the long one here. And just put some vignette around like that. There we go. And we're gonna remove the gun from the vignette, so watch this. It's gonna apply a vignette on the entire image. We're gonna apply a mask, they're gonna push the gun in front of it, so watch. Control click here, apply this mask, and you Control I to invert it, and now you only apply a vignette behind the gun, right? So now I'm gonna drop this a little bit to blend it a little bit better, and this is what we're gonna get. It's fantastic. Another layer, and now I'm gonna apply film grain. Okay, so let's go here to Color Effects Pro again, and we're gonna go with the film grain. So let's just turn this shit off, because film grain is gonna go really well with this. So let's make it soft and quite dense. Up the shadows a bit, and of course, this is a bit too much, so maybe something like this. I think we're gonna be good. And we're gonna press Ctrl 0 here. Yeah, that looks fucking hard as hell. I really like it. Alright, well that's it for this one. I think we arrived. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.